What's the word, y'all? What's the word? So this is going to be a quicker video today than my previous one. And I just want to talk about the sentiment that I hear repeated and regurgitated a lot. And I've been seeing a lot of videos online where people have been making this sort of statement and proclaiming it very loudly and assertively. And it's this idea that like nobody really truly cares about you. Like outside of like your friends, not even your friends, like outside of like close family. I mean like your parents, your siblings, maybe grandparents. Like and this is all contingent upon you being close with any of them. Outside of those people, and maybe your closest one or two buddies, your friends, if you're lucky to have friends, if they are true, genuine friends, not drinking buddies or acquaintances, don't count. True, genuine friends. Outside of those people, no one truly cares about you. Or as the way I like to put it, because I think it seems a bit better way to phrase it. Nobody cares about you as much as you will ever care about yourself, and don't expect it to. Now, this is I'm not sure if it's posited or it's framed as sort of like self-help advice, or if it fits into that category, or it's like a philosophical take or something. I'm not sure. Like the videos I've been seeing, the sort of comment being made on uh, encompass a wide range and wide variety of topics. So I'm not going to try and pigeonhole this comment into one lane or another, but it is interesting to dissect. Because yeah, on the surface, stuff is true. And I think that's something you should learn as you get older. That you have to look out for yourself. You do have to look out for your own self-interest, right? Just like any other organism in this world does. And I feel like other organisms, do it better because they don't have our sort of higher order faculties and ability for abstract reasoning and logic. So they can't mistakenly not see the forest for the trees, as that saying goes. Like they get it intuitively that I need to look out for my own self-interest and I need to be selfish in that regard, right? You're never going to confuse a dog or cat about thinking differently from that. But us humans, we can get tripped up in that regard. So yeah, speaking, nobody cares about you in the sense that they're not going to be thinking about you 24/7. They might think about you occasionally, especially if you are close friends with them. If they do see you as an ally, as a friend, as someone worth associating with, they'll think about you, when it's convenient. I'm not gonna be cynical and make the argument that nobody really has friends, and most people only have friends when if they can offer something to somebody, or if they have something that somebody wants to take from them. I've heard that sort of cynical take offered, and there's some truth to it. But I don't want to go through life just viewing everyone as a possible threat or enemy or someone I have to be on guard for because, I feel like an attitude like that just develops trust issues and makes you very jaded in an unhealthy way. So, that being said, yes, it is true that nobody cares about you, right? And even if you are close with your friends, with your family, right? Your siblings, your parents, your grandparents, if you choose to live life in a certain way that they don't agree with, right? You choose to make certain decisions, like what degree to study, who you choose to date, who you choose to marry, where you choose to live, if you choose to have kids or not, how many kids you have. If your decisions that you make in those regards are different from what they want or expect, they will happily cut you off, right? They will happily cut you off. If you vote differently than how they do, they will happily cut you off. And we've seen that, all right? I don't need to elaborate. We've seen the amount of people disassociate and alienate themselves from their friends or family because someone voted for the R candidate and someone voted for the D candidate. We've seen that in this country. And it's been very visible and obvious to watch over the last 3 elections, So with all this into consideration, yes, it is true that nobody cares about you. But I just want to offer or suggest to people that they look at things from a different angle or take a slightly different perspective and examine a different perspective in that matter. From what I see and with the videos I've watched, I don't see Mexicans in Mexico making videos like this. I don't see Indians in India making videos like this. I don't see Chinese people in China making videos like this. I don't see people in Japan, and I know that countries like Japan and South Korea have their own unique set of cultural issues and certain set of, despondency and Inui, Ennui, that word, and sort of anami, Naomi. Sorry, my pronunciation is terrible, but you get what I mean. They're dealing with those particular issues in their own cultural landscape. But I don't see many videos of people living in other countries who are part of other cultures, particularly developing countries, third world nations. So maybe Japan doesn't apply here, even though I've heard that Japan can be quite a lonely place. I just don't see people in Latin America, in the Middle East, in Sub-Saharan Africa, in maybe poor areas like Eastern Europe, making videos about how nobody cares about them. So maybe so many people feel comfortable or arriving at that realization, having a sort of epiphany. Maybe that's a byproduct of living in a very hyper-individualistic society where you're not taught to make bonds with people, make alliances and friendships, and you're not taught to value the friendship and community that you're naturally born into. Maybe comments like those that are made are just a byproduct of that, right? Maybe America, Canada, other first world Western nations are just societies where there's too much emphasis placed on the individual and not much emphasis placed on the greater collective, right? It's very much I, what I want, what I need to do, what I should do, what's best for me, what's best for my own interests, right? And the interests of those whose self-interest pertains or relates to mine. Maybe there's too much of that sort of attitude and thinking. And the capitalist grind machine that we're all thrown into, especially in America, America's a bitch and a beast in that regard, doesn't help things. It just makes it worse, incredibly worse. Because then, from a young age, or not even a young age, as soon as you become an adult, you're just trained, gotta make money, gotta go grind, hustle, right? That's the thesis behind hustle culture. You gotta go hustle, gotta go grind, gotta chase the next dollar. There's always another dollar to chase, all right? Gotta be on that hamster wheel. Turning and turning. There's no stop, no break here. And then you're shocked, right? There's no brakes on the car, but then you're shocked when you crash, right? And I think especially in modern times, a lot of Americans are spiritually immensely crashing because it's just too much. It's just too much. And I don't think we were meant to live this way. We were meant to live in a way where associating with others and building bonds and forging friendships and having community, having people we can rely upon, having people in our corner is so difficult to obtain and find. And even if we do find it, it's so hard to maintain because people move away for school, for jobs. Somebody goes here, somebody goes there. It's hard to keep in touch with people, right? Friendships are two-way streets where both parties have to maintain effort and be putting effort in to sustain the relationship, right? Same goes with family, maintaining good connections with your family. They're two-way streets. And if one party is neglecting their responsibility or duty, then the association, the alliance, the friendship, it falls apart. It crumbles eventually. So I'm making a long-winded point here, as per usual, but you get the gist. Sure, yes. In the grand scheme of things, nobody cares about you. But that attitude feeling so prevalent nowadays and so many people uttering it so comfortably with so much ease, it's a sign of something deeper. It's a sign of a certain kind of malaise that's hanging over our society like a dark cloud. It's a sign that we're not evolving or advancing as much as we have to think as human beings. Maybe some of these technological advancements, maybe some of these other social advancements and freedoms we've acquired and obtained in the 21st century especially are doing more damage to our social fabric than good. And maybe they're doing more damage to our individual psyche than good. I think the pandemic definitely brought that to light, brought that to attention. Right? So that's just something to think about, right? That's all I wanted to say. Take care, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good rest of the week. Stay safe, right? Next couple months will definitely be crazy. Until January 20th. We'll see what happens. Take care, everyone. And God speed. Amen.